Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Stollings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderX, and as always I am your host for Operation Recap, where I take a couple of the stories throughout the week that you may have missed, may not have seen, may not have taken the time to read, and we give them a once-over, see if anything new develops. You know, that old gag. Lots of stories this week. I'm going to condense a lot of them into one. So PAX happened. You know, that was a thing. PAX Prime. Penny Arcade Expo, for those of you who are not into, anacronyms, I guess. Penny Arcade Expo, PAX Prime, huge gaming event. Not just video games, but board games, tabletop games, geek culture, all around was happening. And we sent several people to PAX, and they have written so many stories about their impressions, their hands-on interviews. I'm still sifting through it. I've got about a dozen links that are going to be in the video description. So, and that's not even, half of the stuff from PAX that we've got. So PAX is a thing. It happened. Again, controversies, things and such, I'm staying out of all of that. I'm not going to talk about that here. I can talk about that elsewhere if you guys want, but that's, PAX is a thing. It happened. So, check out all those things. We've got a bunch, like I said, we got a bunch of hands-on, some developer interviews, general impressions, panel, all sorts of stuff. It is crazy what all our staff was able to get done at PAX. I would just be sitting there walking around with this kind of dumbfounded look on my face, just like, the games! And they actually, had the forethought to take notes and, be legit journalists. So, kudos to you guys. You definitely one-up me on that statement. But some of the other stories happening this week, we got several, so I'm going to jump into those. Bravely Default for the sequel. This story, as it was unfolding, confused the ever-loving crap out of me. I had no idea what was going on. One of my coworkers posted the tweet about it, saying that it's coming to the West, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is for the sequel? I was Bravely Default Flying Fairy. That's the title that I had in my mind that I knew, and apparently I missed an entire section where they're doing an expansion. They're doing Bravely Default for the sequel. It's basically like the difference between Skies of Arcadia and Skies of Arcadia Legends. It's the same game, just some new bells and whistles added to it for to make it a more complete experience is the phrase we were kicking around. That has been confirmed to come to the West. That was the tweet on Twitter that this Final Mix-esque type version of the game is what is coming to the US. So we knew Bravely Default, it was going to be localized. Everyone was talking about how it's doing well. It's a shoo-in for Western localization, and then we didn't really hear anything from it, and like I said, I missed the entire for the sequel section. I thought we were getting the sequel to Bravely Default. I'm like, why are we getting the sequel when we haven't gotten the first game? That's why I was confused, and, I pay attention to stuff. Really. But I'm super excited about this because Bravely Default looks like it's going to be a fantastic game, and I will not turn down extra content, especially if I don't have to pay extra for it. So, I'm all up for a Game of the Year edition. This looks like it's going to be it, so even more stoked about that. That's a huge deal, if not at the time rather confusing when you missed, the second step in the process. Next story. This one depressed me. I was kind of sad about this. Miyazaki has announced his retirement. I really don't want to try saying his first name. Hayao? Hayao. I really can't say that. I've never heard it said before. He's always been referred to as Miyazaki, the legend. And he is. Miyazaki is co-founder of Studio Ghibli, probably one of the most talented anime directors to ever grace the planet. Titles such as Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, the list goes on. he has announced that he is retiring at the ripe old age of 72, and he's been in animation for the last 50 years. That's, good on you. In that time, you have made some of the most iconic animated films ever, and a studio that their animation quality rivals that of things like Disney. That you have just taken stories in animated form to a completely new level. I'm going to be sad that you're not going to be continuing, but your legacy will definitely live on. And there's no official word yet on if he's going to still do smaller projects. I mean, he could be, one of those guys who retires and still every year, does something small on the side, because retirement could be kind of boring, especially for someone who's been at it for 50 years. It might take a little bit of adjustment period to, actually get into the habit of not doing anything. So I look forward to what he might be doing, either as just a small project or even just a consultant on other projects. And even if he doesn't do any of that, I wish him the best retirement imaginable. If anyone's deserved it, it's definitely him. And last story that I'm going to talk about is Keiji Inafune. Yeah, he's doing a Mega Man game. Kind of. It's totally not Mega Man. Totally not. So there's a Kickstarter project for a game called Mighty Number 9. That's totally not Mega Man. Totally not. Totally not Mega Man. The Kickstarter, he's got a group of people who are industry vets, several of them have worked on previous Mega Man titles before. He also, being the creator of Mega Man, not like he's got any skill with this sort of thing at all. He's doing a Kickstarter project that the Kickstarter goal was for $900,000. Seems a bit large for a digital-only game. It's going to be PC digital release to start off with. And that seemed like a huge amount of money for a digital game. But then he started talking about all the stuff that's going to go into it and what he wants to do with it. And it's like, okay, that's still a lot of money. I'll wait and see. A whopping 2 days later, it hit the $1 million mark. Instantly funded. As of right now, as of me recording this, the last I checked, it is at $1.7 million for a Kickstarter. Holy crap! Now this is really not expected, considering Capcom canned several Mega Man projects, Mega Man Legends 3, Mega Man Universe, etc. There's a lot of things. Was it Mega Man Universe or Mega Man Online? I don't remember. One where you could, mix and match Mega Man parts. And the last thing Mega Man has been in, it was the fat guy who was the cover of the North American box art in Street Fighter X Tekken. So, I can understand that there's a huge fan base for it. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and I'm seriously eyeing that Kickstarter. There's a couple of rewards there that I'm like, I could sell a kidney for that. And I'm really excited to see what happens. It's already beaten 2 of the stretch goals. One of the stretch goals, for I believe it's the $2.2 million mark, is PS3, 360, and Wii U download versions. So that's a thing, and the fact that it started at the 1st of September and has till the end of September to go, I wouldn't really be surprised if it hit that stretch goal. So that's a thing to check out if you're a Mega Man fan, or you just want to watch crowdfunding happen live. That's a thing. I really don't know what else to say about that one. That's when I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is totally not a Mega Man ripoff, and then I look at it, I'm like, well, it's the creator of Mega Man. He can kind of do what he wants with it. He created Mega Man. If he wants to create a similar character, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to throw my money at the screen and see what happens. So, yeah, that has been this week's recap. All of the stories that I talked about, and then all of the pack stuff will be in the video description below. My question to you guys for this week is, how do you feel about a spiritual successor for Mega Man? Good? Bad? I mean, I was a huge fan of the X series. Loved it. Until about X4 when it started getting a little weird. And I say that when one of the very first bosses in the X games was Wire Sponge. So, I mean, it kind of already started off a little weird. So, that was the thing. But, I'm super excited about it, but do you guys think it's just a Mega Man ripoff? Do you think it's just pandering to an audience that got, shafted by his former company? Do you think he's just kind of rubbing salt in Capcom's wound there? That, he can go out and do a project like this and show that there's a market for it where Capcom ignores it. I want to know what you think about this whole situation, because there's a lot that could be said about it. There's a lot of possible viewpoints. There's a lot of, really interesting subtext. So let me know what you think down below. And I will catch you guys next week. Till then, later everyone.